Anyway, Deroy Cruz here, your life applications officer. This might be too much brightness. I don't know. I like it. Right there. Okay. Um, Guns. What part of law-abiding, innocent citizens need to be shooting criminals instead of the other way around? Don't you understand? And even if this is my problem with people taking our guns, by law, if somebody walks up into my house unannounced, I got a right to shoot them. If somebody walk up in your business and start acting a fool and start acting like he getting ready to pull a gun, you got a right to shoot. Okay? Somebody threaten you on the street, act like they want to punch you or whatever, you got a right to shoot them. It is, the Democratic Party is retarded. How do you assume that taking guns off of law-abiding citizens who own guns legally, how do you assume that that's going to help stop guns? And you know that if you take the guns off the criminals first, you know that you're definitely not going to have a reason to take away our guns, because if you take the guns off the criminals, so how are the criminals getting the guns? That's where you got me. Because guns are bought. And I will admit with the Democrats that there are people who are gun owners, legal gun owners, that are buying guns and reselling them into the black market. Okay. There are legal gun owners that are giving guns into the hands of criminals. That's true. If you take away our guns, there will be criminals, okay, selling illegal weapons, to law-abiding citizens, innocent, good old, law-abiding, hardworking, minding their own business citizens, no criminal records, but they will go criminal. You take our guns off of us, because they will find a way to protect themselves. And either way they do it, it's not going. We already have gun laws in place. Why do we need to take away guns when we already got gun laws? That's what the gun laws are for, so we don't have to take away guns. But because of what just recently happened, you want to use this as the poster boy to come out here and attack innocent law-abiding citizens, because you can't go out there and get the criminals. But the more criminals there are, the more people need to be strapped. Okay? The more criminals there are, the more people need to be strapped. And it was the blessing of God, that one incident, I don't know where that was. I think it was in Texas also. That incident. And Brandon Tatum, my boy Brandon, he said it's not being mentioned in the news. But he was able to get the footage, the story. They're trying to hide it from the press. They're trying to hide it. The police know about the story in several states. But, your local news is not telling you the story. This guy went to a party, and I forget what, if I felt like using my OBS and all like that, I'd put Brandon on here to tell you the story real fast. Matter of fact, let me do this. Go to my history. Did I turn this thing off? Okay, let me go to my history and see. Let you hear a little bit of Brandon talking about this. This woman shot a man with a rifle, with her handgun, who went and interrupted a party. They sent him leaving. He came back with a gun, started shooting. Okay. And let me see here. Go through my history. It'll be in my history. Way down here somewhere. It's my boy Brandon at. That ain't it. Then again, I think that is it. Because that was when he mentioned that in Cops Kill Pregnant Woman. I know this about the. Oh, here it is. Active shooter smoked by a woman with a gun. Okay.
She did the right thing. I don't know if any other person would have done that. A woman in Charleston is being credited with averting a mass shooting.
This is exactly why good guys need guns. Video is brought to you by Noble Gold. Noble Gold, get your finances in order. A lot of people are wondering about their financial future, given the stock market is crashing. I'm telling you guys right now, you need to diversify your money. Don't put all your money in one place.
And I don't know anybody want to hear all that.
You're going to be in trouble. And have the Second Amendment. This is exactly why citizens need to be armed. Ladies and gentlemen, this ain't going to make the news. They don't want you to know about this on the news. They want you to stay in the dark because they have a political agenda. Armed female bystander takes out man firing at party in West Virginia. If you look at the story, what appears to have happened, and now this is a black man, and so the black man, the black man can do no wrong. They don't even want to talk about him. This nut job had a criminal history long as the Nile River. Should have never had a gun. He illegally was in possession of a gun. Illegally. AR-15, illegally. They don't know how he got the gun. But I guess he was driving by his birthday party at an apartment complex. He was driving too fast. And people told him, hey, man, slow down. I'm pretty sure they had some harsh words for him because there's kids playing. He showed back up with an AR-15.
AR-15.
From his car. Now, Mama Bear came out. She pulled out the strap, and it was night time.
Simple handgun.
Now, she legally was in possession of a firearm. She did not have law enforcement training. She didn't need to be special ops.
Thank you.
All she needed to be a person who was armed to protect people. And essentially, she stopped the mass shooting. Because if he was able to fire indiscriminately at this party, he would have killed a bunch of people with an AR-15. But see, the good guy with the gun is better than the bad guy with the gun. Why would you take her guns? Just imagine. Let's play the scenario out. And shout out to this woman. Let's play the scenario out. They haven't identified her, probably because they don't want her to get death threats. But let's play the scenario out. The government says citizens cannot have guns. This fool that got a gun illegally.
How you gonna stop him from getting a gun illegally?
He's not going to get a background check. He got it illegally because there's no way you're gonna, to prevent the circulation of these illegal guns. Just like when they tried to do prohibition, they're gonna just sell the alcohol on the black market, just like marijuana. It doesn't matter how illegal marijuana is; people are still selling dope all the time.
Thank you.
You can't buy it now. Even when people could buy weed at the store, people still selling weed illegally.
Thank you.
So you're not gonna get the legal guns off the street.
Thank you.
What do you know? This guy's
preach, brother.
just say that she didn't have a right to own a gun in that city because it was too hard to get a gun, the permit was too expensive, they made her jump through so many hoops. If that guy would have showed up and shot at the party, they would all been laying there. But you need somebody that's a responsible person, which many gun owners are. We have the most guns out of any country in the world, probably more than some people's military. And if we were so out of control, it'd be hundreds of thousands of people dying every year from gun violence, which has not happened, which will not happen. Mind you, when you look at some of these school shooting, active shooter situations, there's more people that have died from lightning strikes than have died in an active shooting situation in school in the last 26 years. So, with that being said, this is why people need to be able to protect themselves. How fast do you think the cops are going to show up? 5 minutes? 4 minutes? 3 minutes? I want you guys to understand, a police response to an active shooter situation like this, if they respond within 3 to 5 minutes, depending on what city you're in, that's pretty fast. 2 or 3 minutes, that's pretty fast. If a cop is there immediately, that's impossible. Unless he was sitting down the street when it happened. But y'all gotta understand, like this is not the fairy tale world. This is not make-believe land. Cops are not sitting in front of your house. Cops are not waiting and have some Doppler radar out for when incidents like this come out. They may be on the other side of town. They may be dealing with a sexual assault situation. 1.5 miles away, 2-3 miles away. Then you got to understand this. I want people to understand this because I think the public don't understand how this works. This is not the movies, ladies and gentlemen. This is not the movies. They are not going to, you're not calling a patrol officer when you call 911. It's not like you calling and Officer John is right down the street and you're like, John, come help us, like right now. You call 911, and y'all have heard these annoying 911 dispatchers and 911 call takers, You're going to call 911, and they're going to say, is it emergency, fire, or police? Now, if you get on there screaming and whatever, then they're going to have to make a decision if it's fire or police. They will transfer you to dispatch. Now, y'all got to understand, 911 call takers is in one area. Dispatchers are in another area because you have fire dispatch and then you have police dispatch, fire EMS, and then police dispatch. Once the 911 call taker gets your basic information, it's shooting going on. They send a message or they walk over or they call on the phone, whichever, I don't know what department you have. They'll send a message on our department. They'll send like an instant message to the police dispatcher. Now, the police dispatcher has to read the information that's on the screen. Active shooter. And if the person is calling don't give an address, they immediately don't know where you're at. If this is not the movies, they don't get an address. They'll send a message back to the 911 call taker. Hey, can you get an address for us? Where is it at? Can you give a cross street? What side of town is it on? Is it an apartment complex? Which apartment complex? Does she have a name? Now you got to think, if you're in an active shooter situation, you can't remember none of this stuff. This is not getting to the police right away. They don't know where you at. And then when you finally get to the police, when you finally get an address, these dispatchers are typing this to the police officers. And so the police officer on the MTC computer and over the air, they said it's an active shooter situation occurring. Any units to clear. This is at the corner of Melbourne and 6th. The cops don't know what's at Melbourne and 6th. It's an apartment complex. Now, it could be an apartment complex on both sides. Which apartment complex? It's the apartment complex Chandler building.
All right, that's good enough. I agree with him 100% in everything he says on the subject. I didn't agree with him completely about the situation in Texas where that kid went in there and was shooting in windows and went in the school and the cops were waiting to get in just because they didn't have body armor. I disagree with him on that. I believe that, first of all, this must have been a small town in Texas or something, because in the inner cities, cops always have on armor. Cops always have on their bulletproof vest, okay, on the street. Okay. Now these small town cops, they walk around. I saw some of the video footage. These guys were being called from different areas and running and pulling up the draws while they was trying to get in cars and run to the scene. I saw that. Okay. Um, when you're a cop, you risk your life to save another. Your kids are in there getting shot, and you're out there saying, "Hey, we got no armor. They need to hurry up and get here." No, you need to maintain until they get there. And I agree with Tatum concerning the police getting there on time, because you need to maintain. Like if you go to, like, I know, like when I worked at the hospital, the police were armed. We had the property police. They weren't city police. They're property police. They're armed. They can restrain a suspect and hold him down and cuffing in the back room until the cops get there. And if the cops give them permission, they can drive him down to the city and put him in that way. I've only had one job myself where I had those rights to restrain a person and put him in a cell until the cops come down, pick him up, and put him in their cell. Okay, that's the only way that you can maintain a suspect without pulling a gun on him. Until, in a situation where somebody's coming doing a crime. And see, this is another thing that's wrong with, before I get to Steve and Tom. Here's another reason why it's wrong for you to mess with our guns. Because nobody said that we have to shoot somebody because they have a gun. As I said earlier, if you feel threatened, you're allowed to shoot the person that you feel is threatening you. Okay? Especially if it's, outside your home, or somebody breaking into your home, walking into your home uninvitedly, walking into your store and acting stupid. You can shoot them. Now on the street, if I walk into the 7-Eleven, Roger Wilson's in there tearing things up because he's got a mental problem. As long as he don't put his hands on anybody, I'm not going to pull my gun because I'm just a civilian. Okay? But he put his hands on somebody like this woman did in this video that Brandon just uploaded a few days ago. Okay? You got a right to shoot him. If he start trying to take a hostage or something, you got a right to shoot him. The reason why a lot of black folks don't participate in, that have legal firearms, if they're legal. Okay. The reason why a lot of black folks don't participate when somebody shows up acting a fool is because they're afraid that, 90% of the time the active shooter's black. The person, so if a black person try to come in there and say, freeze, drop your weapon, the cops are on their way, I'm trying to maintain, okay? I'm making a citizen's arrest, okay? The cops coming here, I thought there was two, I thought there was one suspect, there's actually two, we're taking them both out. And I admit, I don't know. I'd have to wait till the cops get there and say, "Hey, do I have your permission to shoot the bastard? Like, can I have your permission? Can y'all like hand me some backup or something?" That's what I'd have to do. I'm paranoid with not being able to see out my door here. This camera won't let me see out my door. I don't like to have my back turned to my door when I'm talking about certain things. And I know I got some coonies around here. Mr. Rogers, let me see. You're an idiot. Well, I won't call you an idiot, okay? Gun laws are not to prevent crime. Gun laws are to give the right to law-abiding citizens to protect themselves. Okay? If enough criminals was walking into homes uninvited, then you would see where giving guns to law-abiding citizens is effective. Okay? But you're talking dumb. You obviously are a typical Democrat. Okay? So, okay, gun laws don't seem to have prevented these mass murders. You're saying we all have put up with constant carnage because you nut jobs don't want to do anything. Who's these nut jobs you talking about? Who's these nut jobs you talking about? Talking about me? Trust me. Tell me that I can go out there and pull a gun on average criminals, okay? And I just quit my job and became RoboCop, okay? Because tell me that I'm not just protecting myself but protecting other people. Oh. But see, gun laws don't give us a right to go and protect other people. It gives us a right to protect ourselves. So if you're not shooting at me, Mr. Nutjob Tom Rogers, if you're not shooting at me, I really don't have a right to intervene. I have to call the police or whatever. But like this woman did in this video, he pulled a gun in a public place. That gave her a right to shoot back in a public place, even though he was not shooting at her. But let's say I'm downtown Pittsburgh and there's shots coming out of the Clark building, okay? I'm not allowed to go in there and say, I'm Deroy Cruz. I'm going to save today. Give me my cape. Got my gun. Click, click. I'm going in, okay? Can't do that. I go to jail faster than he will, okay? But if he come out and he come out that building, then I can take him down, see? But see, Democrats don't have brains. They should give this party a new name. It should be called the Brainless Party. Okay. The world is a dangerous place, Deroy. How many guns do you own? Steve McRae, manager. I own a small, they call it an 8mm. That's the one I carry with me sometimes. And I own a 32, which is the gun that I trained on when I did my lethal weapons training as an armed officer back in the day. That was a long time ago. And I've had that gun for years. I don't trust it. I've seen it give complications. Those are the only two guns I have. I'm getting ready to buy a Glock, I think. There's a Glock I'm looking at, and it's a regular size Glock. And there's also, I'm thinking about a 9. They got a bunch of new ones out there that are interesting. I'm hearing bad things about the new ones. They say the older ones work better. Oh, I'm not sure. I bought it at a gun show. At a one of them outdoor gun shows. A friend took me one time, and I had the money for it. He was buying a gun, and I had the money for the gun. It was kind of inexpensive. So I bought it. They're very easy to conceal. You can put them in your pocket, actually, and don't nobody know. Put them in your pocket with a tissue over it. Won't nobody know it's there. I had a friend that brought one to work and showed. I said, "Put that back in your pocket, man." He said, "I'm just asking your permission. You're my boss. Can I carry this? After what happened last night, what happened, the riots and blah, 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 blah. Can I carry this?" And I says, "Well, if you don't tell, I won't tell. But, if you get in trouble with the faculty or anything like that, I'm going to have to let them know you're armed. So you better be on your best behavior. You want to carry that around." But he showed me his license and everything. He was, he was able to conceal carry You know what I'm saying? And at that time, I was concealed carrying too. So he knew it. So it was like I tell on him, he gonna tell on me. You know, that ain't gonna work out too well. But this was when we had them riots here in Pittsburgh over I guess it was Trump. We had them riots here. No, it wasn't Trump. This was way after that. Trump was in office, but it was way after Trump. It was when that shooting of that black gentleman. Oh, George Floyd. That was it. When George Floyd, because y'all know I did the videos that y'all hated me for. Y'all, I made y'all so mad. I was steaming over that George Floyd crap. George Floyd, when they did the riots downtown Pittsburgh for George Floyd, that's when me and some guys at my work, I was working at a hospital at that time. We started concealing our guns. We started walking around with guns on us because like they was holding up. Like nobody was going to go downtown for days and catch a bus. I mean, the bus company lost money them days and everything. Like, you know, they set us back, and some of us were like, we got to work every day. They're counting on us to be there. We're going to work. If you think you're going to stop us, you're just going to get shot, you know. But, you know, and this was after my mugging. So, was this after my mugging? No, this was before my mugging. Yeah. Yeah. My mugging was May of last year, I think. Was it May of last year? Yeah. Yeah, so this was after the mugging. Yeah. Well, that's not what the gun really is, Uncle, whatever your name is. There's a name for the gun, but most people that have one call it 8mm because it's a little bit smaller than a 9. You know, my grandpap and them used to call them fishing guns. There's these little magazine guns, okay, and they're about like a 9's about this big. This one's about this big, okay, like that, okay, and they're real easy. You can put them in your pocket and won't nobody know it's there, okay. But that's not the name for it. It's not called it. You know, you can't go and get an 8mm. People just call them that, but there's an actual name for it. I don't know what it is. If I go, especially if I go and I say 8mm, people know what I'm talking about. No, like I said, I bought it at a gun show. You know, you go to a gun show, you walk in, it was outside. You go in there and you see gun on the table, you know what I'm saying? You know, me and a friend, you know, I got a warranty with it and everything. I mean, it's a good gun. I mean, I've seen my grandpap and other people use these guns. That's why I bought it, because I've seen other people use them. They call them fishing guns because they take them out in the woods with them when they go fishing, and they shoot like snakes with them, and they shoot at raccoons with them and stuff like that. Stuff gets too close, you know. Yes, very interesting. Thank you. I believe that is where we need to advance our gun laws. I believe that there should be background checks for guns. Yes, I do. I agree. There should be background checks for guns. And I believe, yes, you should extend. But see, what you got to understand is that, you know, let's say 1 out of 100 gun owners is somebody that would be dumb enough to sell after he buys a whole bunch of guns, start selling some of his guns because he's going through a financial crisis or whatever, start selling his guns underground because he knows he only needs 1 or 2. But he bought all these guns. I know a guy right now that I'm teasing who's buying all these guns. He comes up to me, he says, Look what I got, baby. I says, who you gonna shoot with that? An army? You try. I says, who you gonna shoot with that? You know. And he's like, hey, maybe one day I'll need an army. I got it. You know. And he got like 6 guns. And to me, a law-abiding citizen doesn't need a house full of guns. You only need really one gun. Now, if you live in a house, I personally believe, and I know a guy that's been through this. I heard a guy tell me about this. You know, if you're a law-abiding citizen and you own a gun and you live in a house where you got upstairs and a downstairs, you in the shower, you got a bedroom, your wife in the bedroom, you in the shower, you know what I mean? You got the kitchen, they breaking in the back door, the back door is in the kitchen. You know, it helps to have guns in different places of your home. Okay? It helps to have a gun in different places of your home. Okay? But really though, a law-abiding citizen that is single and living by himself, like myself, you only need one gun. Okay? But me, I like to have a gun at home. And I like to have one that, you know, I used to take my 32 and leave it in the car. My 32 used to be locked up in my car back in the day. After when I divorced, when I first divorced, I had my 32 locked up in my glove department all the time. But right now I'm not driving. I'm Ubering everywhere. So, I keep, matter of fact, I've been keeping both my guns at home. I'm thinking about going back to strapping, even though it's against the law for me to carry a gun on my job, but, I don't know. Somebody, if somebody put their hands on me again, people, I'm telling you, I'm probably going to conceal that bad boy, lock it up in my locker, go back in my locker. Okay. I'm not going to tolerate, people coming after me at night. Okay. You got, when I got to work at nights, when I got to work the 3 to 11 shift, I get off the clock at night. Sometimes there's only 2 of us out there. And if it's a black man and a white man standing there waiting on the bus, and that black man don't look like, I don't know, Terry Crews, they're going to come after you, man. They're going to come after you, and they're going to try to bust you up, You know what I mean? They need something. They see you standing there looking like you might have a job. They might attack you, okay? And this time I'm going to be ready for them. Now, I carry pepper spray with me every day. But I don't think that's enough. I really think I need to put this 8mm back in my pocket. I'm trying to find a little holster for it. Put it in my man bag. People are gonna be like, when you start wearing a man bag, let's keep that on down low, bro. Anyway, what else we got here? Even though I don't really care to answer hater questions. Am I against raising the age? I think if you're old enough to go to college and you're walking to college, you're riding the bus to college, you should be able to be strapped or concealed. That's me. That day, I don't think I had my gun on me. I had pepper spray on me and I had a knife. And they were kids, they were like between the ages of 14 and 17. So I had to think about this. And they didn't really give me much time to think. They just, one kid hit me and I turned around and looked and I said, what are you doing? And then the other 3, they just, they know what to do. They're really good at it. They don't come at you one at a time. They come at you like a swarm of bees. Sometimes there's 5 of them. Matter of fact, there was 4 of them. I don't know where the 4th one disappeared to, but it was 3 that actually were beating the snot out of me. But you know, and they're doing it right now. Right now, like at my job, you know, they attacked the guy right outside my job, right, you know, just recently. Right on the corner. So, like I said, I might go back to carrying my 8mm. I might go back to carrying it, even though my job doesn't want it on the property. I hate to tell you, but they ain't gonna know. I have to. I'm not gonna let this happen again. I'm just not. Well, just because we have guns doesn't mean that we're not at risk. Okay? Just because you're a cop doesn't mean you're not at risk. You go out there as a police officer and you're arresting somebody. Let's say he doesn't have a gun. Okay? Let's say he, you know, is MMA. Let's say he's Conor McGregor in black skin. Okay? And you walk up on him and you say, put your hands behind your back, and as soon as that arm went behind his back, then he just judo, kung fu, jujitsu, you all, you know, you the mess out of you before your partner come in and join the scene. I mean, you know, you're at risk. We're all at risk. You could get shot at a party. You can get shot in your own house. Like, let's say I have a party at my house. Okay, if I had a house. Okay, let's say you having a party at your house. Well, you got your guns locked up because you're having a party. Okay? You're not going to walk around a party with you got friends around strapped. You know, you're at a party. Okay? Let's say 2 people start going at it at your party and you go to break it up. Okay? You didn't know you was going to have this kind of trouble with a party. Somebody pull out a weapon. You know, I've ran out of parties because the guy started shooting at people when back in the day when my wife and I, were together. We lived up in this one area, and the people across the street was always having parties. And almost every weekend, these guys were running to their cars to get their guns because there was fights breaking out at the party, and one dude said, "Oh, I'm going to take care of you." And he started leaving. Well, you know what he's doing. He's leaving when he just said he's going to take care of me. He's going to get his gun. So he's trying to race him to his car to get his gun. And next thing you know, they're going to get guns. Everybody runs out of the party. They're jumping on them. They got them pinned down out in the parking lot. You know what I mean? You hear shots going off. Somebody that was trying to break up the fight got shot. Okay? Because he didn't want to shoot his friend. You know what I'm saying? You're at risk all the time, but you limit those risks in more than half when you're armed. And let me tell you something else about guns, and I'm closing because I smell my meat in there. Let me say this about guns too. I know people who, like, I got friends who live here in McKeesport, Pennsylvania. It's a ghetto. Back in the day when I lived there, it was like Upper Pittsburgh. It was the place. Okay. I mean, everybody who traveled to Pittsburgh as a visitor would also go up to McKeesport because that was one of the hot spots. But there ain't no hot spot no more. It's the wild, wild west up there now. Get off of there. Go away. Thank you. But I asked this guy, I says, how do you, so you're living up in McKeesport, you're walking around strapped all the time. Concealed. Okay, concealed. You never had to shoot anybody? He says, I'll always let them know that I'm armed. I says, how many people have you had to let know that you were armed? He says, oh, about a dozen. He says he was telling me some of the scenes where 3 teenagers tried to attack him like they just recently did to me. And he said he went in his pocket. He said, I'm letting you know I'm armed. Don't think I won't shoot a kid. I will. He started pulling for that gun. They all spread out like roaches and ran the other way. Okay. Same thing when he went to address a situation where a woman was being crowded around by a group of guys, and she was feeling very uncomfortable. So he went to walk her inside, pretending to be her dad or boyfriend or whatever. And these dudes, one of these guys shoved him, and he pulled out his gun, and they spread out like roaches and ran. You know, he told him, he says, now you attack this woman, that's one thing. You attack me, I'm armed. I'll shoot your head right off your neck. Don't play with me. Okay. And so nobody wants to get shot. People will walk up on you if you point a can of pepper spray at them. They'll walk up on you. I've seen people wipe pepper spray out of their eyes and keep on walking. Okay. I've seen people, you pull out a knife, you didn't know they had a knife. You know, I mean, guns are our right. And the best idea yet for law-abiding citizens. Now more than ever. I don't want to shoot anybody. That's not my intent. There's a lot of law-abiding citizens that are shooting men because they slept with their wife or they slept with their girlfriend. Okay, there's a lot of law-abiding citizens, you know, pulling guns on people because they put their hands on their kid. Kid ain't got a scratch on him, okay? But you put a gun on somebody because somebody put their hands on your son or your daughter, okay? And it's easy because you got a gun. And I had a friend not too long ago who told me he won't buy a gun because he says if he buys a gun, he'll become arrogant. He said he had a gun back when he lived in, you know, the ghetto. He said he had a gun, and then he sold his gun. Now, see, that's what you see. You sold your gun, and you sold it to somebody. Who did you sell it to? Did you sell it to somebody that was a legal abiding citizen? Did he register that gun when you sold it to him? He sold his gun to a lady to protect herself. But he said he stopped carrying a gun because he became arrogant with his gun. Hey, look, let me tell you something. There ain't nothing wrong with being arrogant around criminals. Okay? Because let me tell you, every time a criminal gets shot, I don't care if it's a black man, a white man, a Hispanic man, okay, an Indian man, or whoever. If a person is a criminal and he gets shot, you just save somebody's life. Because if he don't get you, he's going to go after somebody else. And if he gets you, you just wanted to spoil. He's going to go after another person. Being a criminal is a business. Being a rapist is a business. Okay? Breaking into people's homes is a business. Attacking men on the street because you think they got something that you could use, okay, is a business. It's clockwork. We need to be concealed. If not clearly strapped, we need to be concealed. We need to be ready to bang, 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 baby. The minute somebody comes to us as a threat. I don't care if it's a threat, you know, by mouth. You said it, you got shot. I don't care if it's a threat by putting your hands on me. I don't know you. I have no reason to trust you. You got shot. I don't care if it's a situation of where you're angry or whatever. I didn't do anything wrong to you, sir, to make you so angry. Okay, maybe it's mental illness, but I'm not going to risk my life because you got mental illness. It's not my job to figure out whether you're mentally ill or not. But we need to maintain, because like Branham said, the cops don't save lives. They come clean up the trash. Work is done, like this woman that he talked about in this video. Those of you that just chimed in, you didn't see it. But just like the woman that he talked about in this video, the footage that they won't put on the news, she took out a gunman. It didn't take, why does it feel like somebody's walking behind me? It doesn't take a dozen cops to take all day trying to get in the building. Okay? Oh, he's shooting that way. I'm going to come up behind him and boom, boom, boom. And I'm not saying it's that easy, but this guy was, well, he can't spin all the way around and, okay? That would be pointless, right? She went right up here. Boom! 3 shots. Took him out. Say goodnight. Okay? Now, I'm pretty sure this place had to be, I don't know where he was shooting at, but probably if she had done that, and I think Branham said something about that, where she had to go through all these hearings and stuff because she shot the dude. Because we already go through enough crap. What kind of parties you going to, bro? Like your little. Don't make me say something. Like your little New Orleans behind ain't been to a wicked party. Let me tell you a little twig-headed self something. All you got to go to, here in Pittsburgh, all you got to do is go to an all-black party. Okay? All they got to do is be 100% black. And there'll be somebody black coming in there shooting. They don't know nobody at the party. They just know y'all black. Okay? I'm telling you. The worst thing for black people is other black people. It ain't white cops. It's black people. Okay? But I thank y'all for watching. But I really believe that we need to, and I appreciate a lot of you guys are talking about what I'm talking about. The live stream I did yesterday, people were coming here talking about things that ain't got nothing to do with the video. I'm talking about guns. I don't hear about a bunch of other stuff. And I appreciate, you guys for coming in and talking about the topic instead of a bunch of other stuff that ain't got nothing to do with what I'm talking about. I really appreciate that. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I smell my food in there. The gun is the most powerful thing that a citizen in a free country like this can have. And it is our risk and our right to own guns. We take risks at everything else. Guns are no exception. We take a risk at defending ourselves. We take a risk at defending other people. We take a risk of walking down the street, using a bathroom in a quiet hallway. We take a risk, just walking to school, just getting on the subway, getting on the bus. We take risks all the time. Okay. So I'm gonna close there. America's taking a risk that gun owners will sell guns, and they will, and I'm gonna say it again. You didn't hear me say this earlier, but if you take away our guns, the guys out there that have the guns illegally will sell them right back to us. And a lot of us will be crazy enough to go to the streets, just like we go to the streets to get marijuana. You ain't getting marijuana off your next door neighbor. You're going down to the ghetto, to the dude in the black car. He gives the drugs to his friend. His friend walks across the street and he's standing on the corner. You check to make sure the coach is clear, and then you go and buy the drugs. You're trying to make sure crime ain't happening while you're doing crime. Okay? So, if you take our guns, the criminals that already have those guns are going to sell them right back to us. And trust me, I'm going to be one of them guys who will go down to the corner or go down to the alleyway and get my gun back. Because it's not fair and it's not right for us to even have this discussion. So now videos are going viral about Biden because of what just happened. He's going to come to the law-abiding citizens, the parents of these kids that got shot. And he's going to go to them and take their guns. Kiss my you-know-what. That is stupid. Now, what we need to be doing is, instead of concealing our weapons, we need to be walking around like the good old cowboy days, okay? And everybody strapped. You walking behind me, you see my medal right here to the side. I hear bang, bang, bang. That's the way it should be. Who shot who? Where's the shooting at? Come on, guys, let's go. We're all strapped. There's enough of us to go around because we're all strapped. Let's go. Kill this fool. Oh, you shot the guy. You didn't have to kill him. He had a gun. Okay, yeah. But see, the cops are allowed to shoot him even if he is on his last round. He shot his last. He didn't shot so many people and he shot so many rounds. We just going, no. If he, oh my gun. Oh, no, all they have to do is see a gun and they can shoot you. All they have to do is think that you might have a gun and they can shoot you. Oh, I come around that corner. Yeah, your barrel's empty now, dummy. But boom, I just made a citizen's arrest. If there's anything left there to arrest. Stop the nonsense. Stop the stupid nonsense. Everybody, as law-abiding citizens, has a right to be armed, to bear arms, okay? Maybe I watch too much television. We need television. We need, and that's the, see, don't even get me to go there. I'm not even going to go on talking about the stupidness of movies. Because you watch too many movies, you'll stop carrying a gun. Because it don't make sense. People that got guns are getting shot like crazy in movies, and the people that ain't got guns ain't getting, man, look here. Look here. I walk away. If I think somebody's going to hurt me, I go to wherever I can get help. I go back to the crowd. I go back to wherever my gun's at. I go back to where I can pick up a weapon or whatever. Okay. If I feel threatened by somebody. Okay. If I'm there with my boys or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Maybe my boys will come in before they let them hurt me too bad. But if I'm out there by myself and somebody wants to act like a fool, I'm going to walk away from a fight because I don't know what I'm up against. Okay? But forget that crap you see on TV. Somebody mess with you and your boys are with you, they stupid because they're going to get jacked up. Like when that fool attacked Dave Chappelle, okay? They showed the photo where he got his butt jacked up, okay? And I've been in situations where I was out with my boys, okay? Same thing with my house, Both you and your wife are gun owners. You got more than one gun? Oh, man, you went to the wrong house, brother. You broke in the room. You broke in the door downstairs and the gun's right here on the headboard. You broke in the wrong house, bro. I don't care what you got. You coming up the steps, I'm coming down the steps. I saw you before you saw me. Because I know my steps. I know how to see you. Okay. I know where the door's at. I know that house like the back of my hand. It's my house. Right? So you looking around to learn the house. Don't believe that stuff you see on TV. Don't nobody know your house well enough not to get shot. Okay. You know. All right. I don't know what I don't know what this stuff is. This is why I don't go live that much, because I don't know what these fools are talking about. Anyway, just like yesterday, I shouldn't have responded. I shouldn't have even responded to Knucklehead Winston coming in on the screen. Everything was fine until he showed up. Talking about stuff that ain't got nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Let me tell all y'all something. When you come to my channel, talk about what I'm talking about. Talk about what I'm talking about. Don't talk about some video that I did weeks ago that you're a little angry at. Talk about what I'm talking about. If you don't talk about what I'm talking about, I'm going to block you. I'm going to delete you. Okay? And I might even turn off my entire life. Might even turn off my entire comment section. Okay? And I don't need to go live. Okay? So I don't know who Angry Roach is, but I'm pretty sure I seen you on Winston's podcast, live stream, whatever. Okay, when I was there, you know, watching his nonsense. But anyway, I'm sick of these guys. You know, I was done with him when he went to my business channel and started his rhetoric and made a whole video about my business channel. And so I done went from being all these names and now you know, on my business channel too. Okay. Let me tell you something. And anybody that's like Winston, I feel for you, man. You're just being yourself. You're just being your little faggot behind self. That's all. Okay? You're just being your little queer self. Okay? I feel for you. I can't hate. I can't. You can't hate people like this. You cannot hate people like this because they don't. What's the Bible say? Forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do. Carlton Winston thinks he's somebody, but he's about as much a child of the devil as I am black. Okay, he's a nobody. Okay, so now he done made me. Now that I said that, I got to get out of here because y'all gonna make me say something else and I'm gonna burn my meat. Okay. So God bless you, Deroy Cruz, Life Applications Officer. Thank you for watching.